always anyhow lived with too much space around me to be infested by big ideas of other people. One thing you can't grow in a place as big as this with cotton is tolerance. I've grown it.
Why can't exceptional friendship, real, deep, true friendship between two men be respected as something clean and decent without being thought of as
it can, for God's sake.
affairs?
I told May and Goober,
Frig May and Goober, frig all dirty lies and lies. Skipper and me had a real, true thing between us. Had a clean friendship practically all our lives. Until you and Maggie got the idea you're talking about. Normal? No. It's too rare to be normal. Any true thing between two people is too rare to be normal. Oh, once in a while he put his hand on my shoulder, or I put mine on his. Oh, maybe even when we were touring the country in pro football, we'd reach across the space between the two beds and shake hands to say goodnight. Yeah, maybe one or two times
Rick, nobody think that's not normal.
Well, they're mistaken. It was a pure and true thing, and that's not normal.
Yeah, it's hard to talk.
All right, then let's let it go.
Why did Skipper crack up? Why have you?
All right, you're asking for it, Big Daddy. We're finally going to have that real true talk between us. The real true talk you wanted. It's too late to stop it now. We got to go over everything, cover every subject. Maggie declared that Skipper and I went into pro football after we left AL.SY because we were too scared to grow up. Wanted to keep on tossing those long, high passes that couldn't be intercepted except by that aerial attack that made us famous. And so we did. We kept it up for one season. That aerial attack. We held it high. Yeah, but that summer, Maggie laid down the law to me. Said, now or never. How was my married Maggie?
How was Maggie in bed?
Great, the greatest. She went on the road that fall with the Dixie Stars. Oh, she made a great show of being the world's best sport. She wore a tall bearskin coat, a shako they call it. A dyed moleskin coat dyed red, cut up crazy. Rented hotel ballrooms for victory celebrations, and wouldn't even cancel it when it turned out defeat. Maggie the cat. But Skipper, he had some fever which came back on him and the doctors couldn't explain. I got that injury. It turned out to just be a shadow on the x-ray plate and a touch of bursitis. I lay in the hospital bed, watched our games on TV, saw Maggie on the bench next to Skipper. When he was hauled out of the game, stumbles, fumbles, burned me up the way she held on his arm. You know, I think that Maggie had always felt sort of left out because me and Skipper, she and we never got closer than two cats on a fence humping. So, she took this time to work on poor dumb Skipper. He was a less than average student at AL.SY. You know that, don't you? Poured in his mind the dirty, false idea that what we were, him and me, was a frustrated case of the old pair of sisters that lived in this room, Jack Straw and Peter Ocello. He, poor Skipper, went to bed with Maggie to prove it wasn't true. And when it didn't work out, he found it was true. Skipper broke into two like a rotten stick. Nobody ever turned so fast to lunch, or died of it so quick. Now are you satisfied?
Are you satisfied?
With what?
With that half-assed story.
What's half-assed about it?
Something's left out of that story. What are you leaving out?
Yes, I left out a long-distance call which I had from Skipper, in which he made a drunken confession to me, in which I hung up.
something to him before you hung up.
What can I say to him?
Something, anything.
Nothing.
Nothing, you just hung up?
Just hung up.
Anyhow now, we have tracked down this lie with which you have disgusted with, which you have been drinking to kill your disgust. Brick, you've been passing the buck. This disgust with mendacity is disgust with yourself. You dug the grave of your friend and kicked him in it before you faced the truth with him.
His truth, not mine.
His truth, okay, but you wouldn't face it with him.
Who can face truth? Can you?